I met great friends through that. There were pastors speaking about me at their church services because they were like, look at what she did.
Amen.
She's the modern day Mary Magdalene. And
Yeah, see, she wants to be worshipped. That's what she's bringing this up. It's not about God. It's about her being worshipped. We all get tested. All women have guys trying to bang them from the time we're young. And look, I am not without sin. I am no angel. I'm never going to pretend I am. But I don't think it took much to know to not get gang banged on camera. I don't think that's that high of a threshold. I don't think that's tested that hard. I really don't. I think that more women actually should get gang banged on camera and just go say sorry afterwards. If the Christians keep allowing these women to exploit them, I hope more women do it till they learn. I hope they get a flood. Because if you guys can't learn any discernment, I mean, you get exactly what you deserve.
Kind of like that. That's how I see it. Where someone is me, where I cherish my salvation, not that they don't, but I cherish it in such a crazy manner because I knew that this was like my last chance. God gave me one more chance and this was it. I was baptized at 7. Like for me, it was like being in a swimming pool. I didn't know what it meant. You know what I'm saying? And getting saved at such a young age, I don't remember any of it. But now.
How convenient. I conveniently forgot it when I wanted to get gangbanged on camera. It's like, yeah.
Making the conscious decision to serve God and be his child as an adult. My parents are not over me. No friends are influencing me. It is my decision to whether I want to be in eternity with God or eternity in hell. And that was the most precious thing to me, that I made that decision. You know, thankfully, my husband brought me to salvation. He brought me to the door, but I had to open it. So I think I cherish it on such a deep level, whereas other people who are casting stones, they don't. They realize that they've been saved their whole life, that they would never go astray. They would never do the things that I've done. They would never sell their body online. They would never.
Like, why can't you just be ashamed and like go pray privately? Why does this have to be a spectacle?
Be promiscuous and yet cast stones at somebody.
Cast the stone. I wouldn't be casting the stone if you were just sitting in church, but you're not sitting in church. You're going on podcasts and drawing all this attention to a terrible story. This is an awful story. You're a terrible person. The things you did were terrible. So now that you want this get out of jail free card, God may give it to you, but we don't have to. We don't. Go to the back of the church, shut the F up, and go be a wife and a mother.
Who had a very different life than them. Very different life. And people are always saying like, oh, you can't blame your childhood. Believe it or not, your childhood has a lot to do with how you grow up.
100%.
Your influences as parents, your siblings.
You can't blame your childhood because there's people with worse childhoods than you that did not make the decision.
Things how they treated you. I'm in the middle of 5 children. Like, imagine. And my
I'm the middle of 10. Shut the F up.
Family was basically poor. So, and then my dad threw himself into being a pastor out of nowhere after he had like cheated on my mom. They divorced, remarried. He had left our family to poverty, came back all of a sudden, like one day, because he decided he wanted to be a dad again, and then became a pastor, and then threw our family into religious churchship, like being like the first in, first out, teaching Sunday schools. Anything that the church wanted to do. I remember like
notice how she's still blaming the parent. It's never, you know what? I was a slutty kid. Ew, that sounds gross to say. I was a disobedient kid and I did not listen. And this is my character flaw. It's how I was raised.
Mopping floors, being like, why the heck am I doing this, bro? Because my dad told me to, not because I wanted to. And so I just feel like if people would understand, like other people like me who didn't grow up the way they did or didn't have the opportunities that they did, it would just make a lot more sense. Like the abuse happened so psychologically. And then there was other abuse that happened to me. Like I was molested at 13 and I got into drugs because I needed an escape because I didn't go through therapy. You know what I'm saying? There's just so many things. And I take full responsibility for my actions because I made them as an adult. So I understand that I made really bad decisions that did hurt other people, men and women alike. And that's like, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing else I could do about that other than pray for the people that I've hurt and hope to goodness that they come to Christ, you know, because they were struggling too. Men lusted after me because I was putting out content, but they were supplying the demand for me to do it. You know, there's a heart issue on both ends. Sorry for the rant.
No, I loved it. There's so much to unpack there. And I wanted to say one thing. When I met you,
George.
When I met you at the gym and I was done speaking to you,
I had no idea who you were, by the way.
I
vice
doubt
versa.
it.
We were just bumping
was
into.
like,
It was meant to be. We
I doubt it.
were meant to meet. And
Don't believe it.
I think this, when I met you, I didn't know this, but there was a mask on. There was a version of you that you were displaying. And there was a version of how you spoke, your mannerisms. It was this character that you were wanting to display. And when I
That's
saw you on
Nala.
when I saw you on the podcast and then they were shredding you and the way you held yourself with such respect
Oh my gosh. Of course.
and integrity and the way you combated, but with like true wisdom, I said,
Nala, come on the show. Open invite. Come on the show. Come on, honey. Come on, sweetheart. Let's get on the show.
oh, there's God's daughter that I was waiting for to pop
That's
out.
good.
That's really cool. That's one I wanted to just unpack. Two, I wanted to apologize. In our community, there are a lot of vultures and wolves. And you should have been met.
Oh, you're just so innocent. You didn't have any of this coming. It's just the evil men. The evil men. This is why men will never allow women's rights to be repealed, because there's men like this that'll fight on the side of women for eternity.
At the door with celebration. But
I was
unfortunately,
with some people,
yeah,
and that's who I hold close. My
Amen.
husband, I met great friends through that. There were pastors speaking about me at their church services because they were like, look at what she did.
Amen.
She's the
Yeah.
modern day Mary Magdalene, and she
Yeah, see, she wants to be worshipped. That's what she's bringing this up. It's not about God. It's about her being worshipped.
made the choice. Like this is the example that we
Yeah.
should follow too.
Yeah.
You know, if you are broken, if you are hurting, we live in such a crazy society where, you know, men are sleeping with their girlfriends out of wedlock. Women are doing the
Can you imagine someone that got tag teamed on camera lecturing you about sleeping with your boyfriend or girlfriend? I'd rather just kill myself.
same vice versa. Women are like shoved into this like empowerment movement that we are independent, we are boss babes, we can make our bag. Society's changed crazily. Like
Yeah.
it is so different from even 10 years ago. And now we have the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so great to see people like you guys spreading God's word in such a cool manner, because I feel like the Pharisees took it so wrong.
You're a Pharisee. You
know what I'm saying? Like they're taking laws, shoving it down people's throats and condemning them for, you know, disobeying their laws, all the while being major hypocrites.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's reflect the law. Like let's just go to the 10 commandments. Half of the commandments is how you treat God. The
Ooh.
other commandment is how you treat your neighbor. That's why when he was going up to the cross and he left them with 2 commandments, and he says, if you fulfill this, you will fulfill the law. 1, love your God with all of your heart, all of your mind, all of your strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. So you could seriously separate who's truly after Christ and who's just sitting there with the badge like a Pharisee. When somebody could look at another man and condemn them, what they do is they replace themselves with God himself. Because one thing you're doing is you're saying, I got to where I'm at by myself. So then I could judge you on where you're at.
Right.
But let's put it this way. Say you had the wisdom to say, oh, I didn't want to do OnlyFans. Who gave you that wisdom?
Facts.
Who gave you an upbringing to give you that wisdom? Who gave you a tongue to say no? Who gave you the eyes to see clearly? Who gave you the ears to hear the right way?
That's good.
So all of the things that you take praise and knock somebody down for, you're wielding what God gave you as a gift, and you punished your neighbor for it, and they will be dealt with.
How crazy it is that there's probably men that have studied the Bible their whole lives trying to get on shows like this, and they just get bypassed for a hooker. As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stat contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many Ingredients in the male vitality stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. I would go nuts.
Wow.
They will be dealt with in a way like this. When God shows up and they say, hey, God, come here. He says, get away from me. I never knew you. Because you didn't look after my kids. You punished them. You beat them. You took the sword that I gave you and you smashed down on the child that I asked you to go save. And yet you put them in more bondage.
Right.
So true Christians should have never done that. And I'm really happy. My one question is this. How do you keep going? Because, dude, when you're a brand new Christian.
Pearl, I get your point about gangbangs, but something about that Brittany woman said was valid, that if you are not born and raised in certain environments, you will not know and learn certain things or morals. I disagree. I think there's examples of people that were raised in terrible environments, or even two siblings in the same environment. I think character is pretty evident from a young age. I think most people kind of stay the same.
I know little girls that are hard and they're just at high school or in middle school. They didn't have an area code chirping at them. You had the whole world chirping at you. What kept you grounded in the roots of God?
So many things. I'd say a community. Even though my community was very small, it included my husband, my best friend, Taylor, and Jacob. And then along the way, as I was getting invited on podcasts, Michael Knowles, Lila Rose, Isabel Brown, Lisa.
Isabel Brown. You know what's crazy? These people say I'm too controversial. Not Knowles, obviously, but then they'll have on hookers. They'll have on literal hookers, and they're not too controversial, but I am.
The Bevere. And then I started reading John Bevere's books. I'd never had a thirst for reading, especially in college. Like I hated reading. And then once I became a Christian, I was like, oh.
Yeah, because she's motivated to use the Bible to lecture everybody. So now she's going to be able to read a lot.
Oh my gosh, I need to submerge myself. I'm so thirsty for God. Yes. So I sat in my home. Everyone's thinking like I'm going on some major tour when really I go to a podcast, come home, and I'm stuck at home. So I immersed myself in John Bevere's books about the Holy Spirit, the awe of God, like how to truly fear God. And like you can love God. The best point he made was you can love God, but it doesn't mean you'll obey him just because you love him. If you fear God, you will obey him. Because Amen. If you truly understand that God is the only one that can kill body and spirit, who else do you need to fear? And not only who else, but what else do you need to fear? Physical objects, situations in life, financial burdens, relationships. Why do you need to fear that? If the one that's over your life and that's claiming to be your number one is the only one you should be fearing, there you go. It takes so much stress away from me knowing that all the hate that came at me, don't get me wrong, it did hurt for a while. I was like,
well, isn't it the consequences of being a corn star? Isn't it the consequence? Look at, I have 3-hour essay videos dedicated to attacking me. I would say I've gotten far more hate than this woman did for having opinions people don't like, and she got gangbanged on camera. It's just the audacity. This is 2025.
Like, I thought I was doing the right thing. And then I hear, oh my gosh, on like so many YouTube channels, and the news was even like talking about me. And I was getting these like updates in my email from like, what is it, like Daily Mail and stuff, like Mirror, and like all these are like, is it really true? Is she just grifting? And I'm like, I can't listen to that. That's the world. And
yeah, and so that's their subtle way of saying I'm better than you, that you are just the world and we are the moral ones. That's why people hate moralists, because they're always signaling that they're the moral ones who just know everything. And I'm here to say, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. You can't tell me anything once you've gotten tag teamed on camera. Go to the back of the church and shut the F up. Do it.
The enemy would have wanted nothing else but to have me turn my back on what I have.
Nobody has a problem with you reading the Bible, but we have a problem with you starting a Jesus ministry because it's encouraging other women to go down the same path as you, which is get gangbanged on camera, say sorry, and then make money off of God after. And I hope more women do it because the church people just need to learn their lesson.